Good evening, everyone. Well, grab your popcorn because if reports are accurate, Representative Ilhan Omar is heading to Dearborn, Michigan to campaign and knock on doors for Democratic U.S. Senate candidate Dr. Abdul El-Sayed as the Michigan primary enters its final stretch. Omar endorsed El-Sayed earlier this month, and campaign events in the Dearborn area are a part of the closing Get Out the Vote push. Now, if I could find a reasonably priced plane ticket this weekend, I might just fly to Michigan, not because I'm volunteering, but because this may be the greatest political comedy show on earth. Seriously, this is the kind of campaign event where it almost expected someone to sell popcorn outside. Representative Omar and Dr. El-Sayed represents one of the Democratic Party's most progressive wing. Dr. El-Sayed has campaigned policies such as Medicare for all, abolishing ICE, and wealth tax, with making criticism of the U.S. policy towards Israel a central theme of his campaign. Representative Omar has become nationally known for so many of those same positions. She has repeatedly criticized Israeli government policies and American military support for Israel, positions that have made her one of Congress' most polarizing figures. Her supporters call her principled. Her critics, including me, see someone whose foreign policy priorities are badly out of step with America's closest allies in the Middle East. And that's exactly why this endorsement makes perfect sense. Birds of a feather campaign together. To me, this isn't about personalities. It's about judgment. It's about priorities. And it's about what kind of direction each politician believes America should take. If you support dramatically expanding the federal government, restructuring healthcare systems, opposing ICE as it's currently structured, and fundamentally changing America's relationship with Israel, then Abdul El-Sayed may as well be your candidate. If you don't, well, you probably won't be standing in line waiting for an autograph. Now let's talk about Israel. Following Hamas' October 7th terrorist attack, the debate over America's support for Israel became one of the most defining issues inside the Democratic Party. Representative Omar has remained one of the House's strongest critics of Israeli military operation, while Dr. El-Sayed has also sharply criticized U.S. support for Israel during the Senate campaign. Reasonable people can disagree about foreign policy, but I believe America is strongest when they stand firmly beside Democratic allies facing terrorist organizations. That's my opinion. Now, supporters of both politicians would tell you that they're fighting for justice and human rights. I simply disagree with many of their conclusions and policies they promote. Politics is supposed to be about persuading voters. That's why campaign matters. That's why elections matter. And that's why Michigan voters have an important decision to make. They'll decide whether this progressive vision represents where they want their state and potentially the United States Senate to go. As for me, I'll be watching with interest, and if those plane tickets cooperate, don't be surprised if I end up somewhere in Dearborn this weekend, quietly observing what could become one of the most fascinating campaign stops of the entire election season. I'll bring a notebook, maybe some popcorn, because politics have become so unbelievably lately that sometimes you honestly couldn't write a better script. I'm Haylee Ficuciello, and that's my opinion. Good night.